3 days later, before dawn, Lin Jin stood outside the southern military training base of the 9th Safe Zone. The sky above the city was still gray-blue. Patrol lights along the high wall had not yet gone out, and beyond the wall, the wilderness pressed against the edge of the safe zone like a silent shadow. Lin Jin wore the ordinary uniform of 3rd High beneath a black jacket. He carried a simple training bag. From the outside, he still looked like a student who had only recently gone through awakening. No combat class uniform, no high-rank summoner badge, no symbol that connected him to the Ashes Reserve. Only the black blade mark hidden beneath his sleeve had deepened since the D913 incident. For the past 3 days, he had not returned to school. The official explanation was mental overload after the Rift mission, requiring medical observation. The truth was that the military and the hospital had both examined him again and again. The results were strange. His body was damaged, but not seriously. His spiritual pressure remained low. His fate realm readings still looked like an F-rank unknown realm. But the pollution severance rate from D913 was 100%. That number was not strange. It was terrifying. When the base gate opened, Han Tai led Lin Jin inside without unnecessary words. From today onward, Han Tai said, "You are no longer only a student of 3rd High." Lin Jin looked at the training fields beyond the gate. Ashes Reserve? Candidate status, Han Tai corrected. Do not get proud. Most candidates never become real Ashes members. Inside the base, the atmosphere was completely different from school. There were no spectators, no cheering classmates, no teachers trying to make students feel comfortable. Every person here moved with urgency. Every wall carried marks of combat training. Every field was built for survival rather than performance. The other candidates had already arrived. There were students from different schools and different fate realms. Lightning, Ocean Tyrant Body, Mechanical Divine Kingdom, Ancient Martial Arts, Beast Contract, Shadow Assassination, and Medical Support Systems. Their ranks were not low. Most were B rank or above. Several were A rank. Then Lin Jin walked in. The room went quiet. Someone whispered, "That is him? The F rank from 3rd High? I heard he killed the mutated body at D913. With what luck?" Lin Jin heard all of it. He did not answer. A woman in a gray tactical coat stood at the front of the hall. Her hair was tied back, and her eyes were sharp enough to make most students lower their heads without realizing it. "I am Zhang Zhaoyue," she said. "Your instructor." Her gaze swept over everyone. "You were selected because your schools believe you may be useful on the front line. That does not mean you are strong. That does not mean you are special. It means someone has decided you are worth testing before you die somewhere embarrassing." Zhao Peng, who had come as a logistics support candidate, muttered from the back, "Teacher Han suddenly sounds gentle." Zhang Zhaoyue continued, "Ashes candidates train for situations ordinary students are not allowed to touch. Pollution cores, mental invasion, mutated rifts, failed fate realm contracts, human host contamination. If you cannot accept that, leave now." No one moved. Pride was sometimes louder than fear. The first test began immediately. Strength, speed, spiritual pressure, combat reaction, fate realm resonance. Lin Jin's numbers were still low, painfully low. Among the candidates, his spiritual pressure rank last the display panel showed his result clearly. And several students looked at him with doubt that was no longer hidden. An ancient martial arts candidate named He Shan frowned. With this level of spiritual pressure, how did he enter the Ashes Reserve? Song Weiyu, a shadow-type girl spinning a dagger between her fingers, smiled lazily. Maybe the Ashes need someone to carry files. Qin Yu, who had also entered the reserve after recovering from D913, stared at Lin Jin with visible irritation. He had not forgotten that day. He had not accepted it either. Zhang Jiaoyue waited until the murmurs spread, then said, "Next test pollution severance simulation." The room changed. A sealed training chamber opened. Inside, a simulated starbone core pulsed beneath layers of false armor and interference arrays. The goal was simple: locate the core and destroy it without triggering a secondary pollution spread. The candidates tried one after another. Lightning damaged the shell. Fire burned the outer body. Ocean tyrant pressure crushed half the construct. Mechanical probes found unstable points but failed to isolate the real core. The best result before Lin Jin was a 62% severance rate. Then Lin Jin stepped in. He did not release impressive pressure. He did not call out a grand skill. He only looked at the construct for several seconds. In his vision, black lines filled the chamber. Some were false. Some were bait. Some were protection layers designed to mislead spiritual scans. But one thin line moved differently from all the others. It was the lie that held the core together. Lin Jin raised his hand. The rusted black blade appeared for only an instant. One cut. The simulated core went silent. The result flashed on the display. Pollution severance rate, 100%. The hall fell silent. Zhang Jiaoyue looked at the candidates. Lowest spiritual pressure. Then she looked at the number on the screen. Highest danger value. No one laughed after that. From that day onward, Lin Jin's position inside the reserve became strange. He was not the strongest. He could not win a simple contest of raw power. But whenever pollution cores, hidden contamination, or fate realm erosion appeared in training, all eyes eventually turned toward him. Shen Qing was the first to approach him openly. After a joint exercise, she stood beside him and said, "Your blade can cut what my lightning cannot." Lin Jin wiped blood from the corner of his mouth. "Your lightning can stop things before they reach me. Then we should form a team." He looked at her. Shen Qingyi's expression remained calm. "I am not saying this out of sympathy. I want efficiency." Lin Jin thought for a moment. Fine. That simple agreement changed their training results. Shen Qing struck down bodies and suppressed movement with lightning. Lin Jin found the pollution core and severed it. Together, they cleared simulations that other candidates struggled to complete. Qin Yu watched from a distance. His face dark. The more Lin Jin improved, the more Qin Yu felt the memory of D913 pressing against him. Finally, he challenged Lin Jin in an internal spar. The training arena filled quickly. Everyone wanted to see whether the F rank who could cut pollution could survive against Qin Yu's Ocean Emperor tyrant body in a direct fight. Qin Yu stepped into the arena. Blue spiritual pressure rolling around him like a rising tide. "This time," he said, "there is no mutated starbone for you to conveniently counter." Lin Jin stood across from him with empty hands. "Then what are we testing? Whether you are actually strong." Zhang Jiaoyue gave the signal. Qin Yu moved first. His tyrant body burst forward with overwhelming pressure. Every step cracked the arena floor. His fist came down like a hammer. Lin Jin did not meet it head-on. He retreated, then retreated again. To the watching candidates, it looked like he was being forced back without any ability to fight. Qin Yu's attacks grew heavier. "Is running your only skill?" Lin Jin's breathing was rough, but his eyes never left Qin Yu's body. He was not watching muscles. He was watching flow. The Ocean Emperor tyrant body was powerful, but power needed circulation. Spiritual pressure moved through invisible roots, reinforcing bone, blood, nerves, and fate realm resonance. And inside that circulation, Lin Jin saw nodes, not pollution cores, weak points, truths. Qin Yu punched again. Lin Jin stepped sideways at the last moment and touched two fingers against Qin Yu's wrist. A thin Black blade shadow flashed. Qin Yu's right arm suddenly lost strength. His expression changed. What did you do? Lin Jin did not answer. He moved again. Not fast, not powerful, but each touch landed exactly where Qin Yu's tyrant body needed to breathe. Wrist, shoulder, ribs, knee. One by one, the circulation nodes were cut off. Qin Yu's overwhelming pressure began to stutter, then collapse. He roared and forced all his spiritual pressure into one final strike. Lin Jin raised the rusted blade and stopped it with the flat of the weapon. The impact threw him backward, but Qin Yu fell to one knee first. The arena went silent. Lin Jin's hand trembled from the force. He looked exhausted, but Qin Yu had lost. Zhang Zhaoyu's voice broke the silence. The result is decided. Qin Yu looked up, eyes red with anger and confusion. You did not beat me with strength. Lin Jin replied. I know. That answer hurt more than mockery. Because it was true. Lin Jin had not overpowered him. He had dismantled him. That night, Lin Jin returned to the hospital to see Lin Xiaoman. She was awake when he arrived. The treatment chamber lights were soft, but her face was paler than before. Still, she smiled the moment she saw him. Brother, you look tired. Training. Did you win? Lin Jin paused. Barely. Lin Xiaoman laughed softly. Then her expression changed. I had a dream. Lin Jin sat beside her. What kind of dream? She looked at the ceiling. Voice very light. A white bone throne. A black star door. Someone was calling you from behind it. Lin Jin's body went still. In the black wasteland of his soul, the nameless soul envoy opened his blindfolded face toward the darkness. Lin Xiaoman whispered, Brother, that door. It felt like it was waiting for you. Lin Jin held her hand. It was only a dream. But inside his soul, the nameless soul envoy spoke for the first time about the name hidden behind the black blade. Soul Blade Royal Court. Lin Jin lowered his eyes. What is that? The envoy's voice was calm. The place your blade came from. And the place that should have remained buried. Outside the hospital window, the city lights flickered in the gray night. Lin Jin looked at his sleeping sister and understood that his awakening had not begun on that school platform. It had begun long before he ever touched the monument. And now, something behind the door had noticed him.